Říká, že se omlouvá, ale to bude úplně kámo, to bude úplně týpeček, ho flamil, prostě non-stop ho flamil, že je úplně že hraje na a takové věci.
Also the notion that men aren't emotional in games of League.
Tady to se to stupňuje, big jokes, tady se to stupňuje, women can play on their period. Potřebuji trošičku provést tím proboha, co tady udělal mistr Bwipo, protože tam je toho raketa. Tam je toho, tam je prostě mělo postupnej spát během 3 dnů a ty 3 dny to potom jako ten 3. den to prostě usmrtil. Takže já jsem si tady jako vyreditoval nějaký věci a jak to říct, no. Začalo to jako nevinně, docela nevinně. To bylo nějaký memísky skrz barbecue a podobný kdy on si prostě stěžoval na nějaký věci. Potom vyhrál finále americké ligy, pokud to správně chápu. Nebo jako samozřejmě, vyhrál americkou ligu, to víme. A začal se strašně beefovat s týpkem z 100 Thieves, stopařem. Protože on se pak beefoval s tím hráčem, proti kterému hrál ve finále. Tak prostě tam dropoval úplně píčoviny, úplně a hodně komunity se jakoby postavilo za toho týpka, který ho on flamil a s kterým měl beef. No a pak dropnul něco, co byla konečná, k čemu se vyjádřila i Sjokz, k čemu se vyjádřili jako všechny ženy v e-sportu. A bylo to tady to video. Já nevím, jestli někdo má další link, protože oni ho stáhli z internetu. Už vzniknul meme na to a nazvali to bipolar disorder. To je super, no. Bipolar talking about emotional side. Jenom pro ty z vás, co nevíte, tak Bwipo má tak třeba 5 crashoutů za 1 rok, kdy má prostě mental breakdown. A je to úplný kokot. Takže jako on komentovat něčí mentální stav, nebo jakoby... Prvně to začalo tím, že on prostě si začal stěžovat na to, že prostě C9 je porazili 5-0 a šli oslavit 5-0 scrim tím, že šli na korejský barbecue. V LA se chodí esport hráči milují korejský barbecue a týpek prostě měl mental breakdown z toho, že C9 si šli prostě oslavit 5-0 scrimy. The enemy team celebrates winning a scrim day against us 5-0. Are you serious? Like, are you guys even trying? Víš, on je úplně delusional. How can you even focus when you are celebrating winning a 5-0 scrim day? Takže ho tam vyhejtili, víš co? A to byl začátek. Potom přichází tohle video, který tady je to Bwipo versus Dokla.
Esports world shocked. Prominent League of Legends pro Bwipo has decided to make the switch from League of Legends to speedrunning. He began his career earlier this week, taking on the category Ruin My Career Any Percent. And I have to tell you, he's off to a banger start. But in all seriousness, where is the FlyQuest PR training? He's a good public speaker, but the things he actually chooses to speak about. This all began only a few days ago in the LTA finals between 100 Thieves and FlyQuest, when opposing top laners Bwipo and Dokla took to the stage carrying their respective team banners. Bwipo extended a fist bump gesture, to which Dokes didn't return.
Up first in the top lane, the latest member of the heist, Big Dokes Dokla! And when the wide man speaks, we talk
mu dá fist bump
about it.
A on ho ignoruje.
Bwipo!
A ho to očividně zraní.
Then follow...
Ale jenom abyste věděli TLDR toho, proč mu nedal fist bump, jo, ten Dokla. Dokla mu nedal fist bump, protože týpeček ho flamil, prostě non-stop ho flamil, že je úplně že hraje na a takové věci, tak týpek ho víš co ignoruje.
Following FlyQuest's subsequent victory over 100 Thieves, the team made the rounds of the stage in a show of sportsmanship, thanking their opponent. You know, like in every sport ever. But Dokes didn't reciprocate once again.
A oni je porazili, vyhráli ten šampionát, stali se mistry.
An incredibly exciting series.
Then the post-game interviews began and Bwipo was called over for questioning.
No a tam kámo...
Here's what he had to say about the games and Dokla's denial of his fist bumps, repeatedly taking...
Dívej, on prostě, on mu to fakt urazil, nebo zranilo mu to ego a dívej, co on bude říkat o Doklovi.
And very clearly affected.
To chat with Bwipo, the wide man walks. Bwipo, you've been getting the community talking lately, and you've been talking a lot lately. Do you feel like you settled any beef on the Rift here today?
I don't know, apparently there was beef. I didn't know there was, but apparently. I mean, let's put it this way. I think it was a bit one-sided based on what happened in game.
I gotta
Když
ask,
začne do
because
něj
you bring it
kopat, začne ho ještě víc
up.
flamit.
I mean, the fist bump at the beginning of the day, also the fist bump at the end of the day, both denied from you. How does that make you feel?
I mean, like I said, it's a bit, I think it's more embarrassing for him than for me when you go down 50 and then get solo killed, like lose your whole tower 1v1. I'd be going home not very happy with my finals performance, and if you don't want to be sportsmanlike about it either, then I think you have another reason to be pretty sad about it, but that's just me.
All right, well, I asked Bucio, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Byl tenhle banter v pohodě, tohle všechno bylo v pohodě, jako tady, hele, tohle je všechno v pohodě, jako je to prostě, víš co, je to dramíčko, ale
How do you feel
tady
about
jde o to, co potom, jakoby řekne tady a potom co dropne tady, jakoby tady v té 11. minutě, to je to, co je problém, jo, tohle, víš co, to je jenom tak jako začínáme, koukáme na to, trošku to jako, aby jsme věděli tu posloupnost toho, co se stalo.
North America going into Worlds? You just qualified after winning this series now. So looking ahead for the next big tournament after the LTA championships overall, what do you think FlyQuest's chances are?
Vypodává FlyQuest PR týmu celkem workout poslední týdny, jako jo, no.
I mean, FlyQuest obviously going to compete for at least top 8, top 6, top 4, in my opinion. That's always been the goal for me. It's a standard I've set in my career. That's what I expect from my teammates. You know, I think all of them are exceptionally strong players. They have really strong mental, and we really fight in every game we play. So I'm excited for that. And honestly, like, outside of the fact that, like, their top laner couldn't play the game, they actually put up some really good games. So, like, I don't know, even despite that, like, that's just my opinion. Like, I actually thought 100 Thieves played really well today. And if they perform like this going into the next tournament, going to Texas, I think they'll actually be a really strong team, and they should be the second seed.
So you think 100 Thieves are the second best team in the region?
Yeah, if their top laner connects to the game.
Víš, jak furt kope do toho padne.
All right, well, Bwipo.
Following all this, the pros took to Twitter. Dokla begins the thread saying, in the span of 2 months, I went from being homeless to
to je ten topař, co ho flamil, jo? Co mu nedal tu ruku.
joining the team and being 8th to playing in the finals. Very proud of our run to get to this point. And in this
Týpek tam dropnul, že byl jako homeless, pak joinul tým na 8. místě a pak byli ve finále.
Finals. Very proud of our run to get to this point. And in this, homeless means teamless. He wasn't actually homeless, he just didn't play on a team.
Teamless.
He then
okay, never mind, já jsem si myslel, že byl homeless.
Continues in another about his sportsmanship. For the people saying I have bad sportsmanship, don't expect me to fist bump someone who flames my career personally while preaching about perseverance at the same time, giving insight into why he didn't reciprocate Bwipo's fist bump gestures. Bwipo then had his own things to say about the event. 100 Thieves played great today. Happy to get my first finals MVP and would have happily celebrated Dokla returning to form and gapping me in 2 to 4 games, but we're pretending getting called out for placing 5th on average is not poor performance.
Tohle jsem moc nepochopil.
So good luck.
Tady ten tweet jsem nepochopil, ten Bwipův tweet.
Placing 5th on average is not poor performance. Confident he'll get a rematch, so good luck there. Then, further expansion on the situation. This is long, so I'll just recap, but you can pause it if you'd like to read. He basically, in all this, is saying...
Jo, a potom udělal svůj vlastní tweet longer, kde v podstatě to, jak udělal Dokla ten tweet, tak on v podstatě udělal ten svůj vlastní tweet, kdy má úplně, dívej. I got my shot after getting benched in TCL around 6th place, then I got 7 in LCL. I spent an entire year grinding. Víš, jakože, aby porovnal sebe a Doklu, tak jak Dokla říkal, že prostě hej, byl jsem bez týmu, pak jsem joinul tým, který byl 8. a pak jsme najednou ve finále, že to je hustý, tak týpek tam jde na rant o svý celý jako prostě kariéře. Já to nechám toho týpka shrnout.
Saying he's done what Dokla did, but better.
Jo, že prostě v podstatě udělal to stejný, co Dokla, ale mnohem líp. Over
a longer career. Building himself up from places of adversity to then find success. But fans found the irony. It's not about you, man, come on. There was obviously ill intent when you said the entire dude's career was shit when he started from ground zero and became a champion. The hypocrisy wasn't about you not persevering, it was about the other guy doing it and then you invalidating that. To which Bwipo, shockingly, doubled down, further kicking Dokla.
Jo, že typek mu tam řekne, že ty vole, kamo, kokote, není všechno o tobě, ne, ta zem se nevtočí kolem tebe, jo, a typek dívej.
Would you rather me saying he's had a great career and did everything he could while simultaneously finding every single Korean import I possibly could before even considering hiring him? There's obviously like a lot more to this. The other guy responded and
Ojej.
Halamiči, děkuji za 27 měsíců, děkuji. Že prostě, já nevím, jestli to mám překládat, nebo jestli tomu rozumíte, ale v roce 2025 to mít anglicky, ne?
Link the entire thread if you'd like, but it's more Bwipo just justifying what.
Týpek TLDR tam prostě dropnul, oni se tam jako hádají s random fanouškem, je prostě, že nebude lhát o té kariéře.
He's being a tool, and I'm all for trash talk. It's part
Že každý ten tým raději najde prostě 10 random bad top lane Korejců, než jeho.
competition, but for him to sit here and say it's not personal when it's only been started by Dokla not fist bumping him, then clowning on his career after he made a tweet about persevering is just. Anyway, following this is the community's consensus is that Bwipo was just being a dick, because he was just
Jo, a komunita se prostě rozhodla, že Bwipo je
mean things. Bwipo, just say your fucking.
Proč Lil Bro flamí všechny kolem, když mu tahám prdal? Čekám na tohle vyjádření od
Sorry, it's
Inspired.
not that hard. To be fair, everything I've seen from Bwipo
Bwipo, just say you're fucking sorry, it's not that hard. Tohle jsem, tady ten komentář, to se docela jako, něco s nějakým streamerem taky bylo takovýho, že prostě kurva, tak se prostě
it is in fact that hard. Bro might actually die if he apologizes. We shouldn't be judging him. 6 hours ago, Bwipo posted a video called Addressing the Recent LTA Drama and My Mental Health. It goes for 11 minutes, so I've done the hard yards and cut up the important bits for you. While he says here he apologizes, the way he
Říká, že se omlouvá, ale to bude úplně, kámo, to bude úplně... Pamatujete si, jak se Čeky uměl omluvit? Že prostě Čeky se omluvil, ale omluvil se tím stylem, že se vlastně za nic neomluvil a že neudělal chybu.
says it,
Tak to bude úplnej Bwipo. Bwipo je úplně to stejný. On se omluví za nic, řekne, že nic neudělal špatně a ještě tam hodí můj mental state není zdravý, víš jak.
seems to undermine what an apology actually is. Kind of like, yes, whatever. Not the tone I'd be
Víš, protože mu to řekl FlyQuest, že se musí omluvit.
wanting from an apology.
First things first, going in public and talking about someone's career and saying, I don't think it's very impressive, was a dick move. 100% agreed. I was uncalled for, wasn't really necessary, and I apologize. I will, moving forward,
And I apologize.
not speak on it.
Prostě týpek. To je, kdyby to četl AI prostě. To mi připomíná dalšího streamera.
Anyone's careers. I feel that way. I genuinely don't think it was necessary. It was a bad thing to do.
He then speaks on getting diagnosed with a hypomanic episode at Worlds 2024, and then gives us clarity to what that actually is.
I want to clarify, because this is something that is pretty important to me. I was diagnosed with a hypomanic episode in Worlds 2024. I was not manic, I was hypomanic. And,
Co? Hypomanic?
and I talked to my therapist, and he helped me understand what the difference is. A lot of people think that, I have mental illness, blah, blah, blah. People threw this around, etc. So the difference between a manic episode and a hypomanic episode kind of gets explained here. We'll go through it. Mood change, abnormally elevated, expansive, or irritable mood. Similar mood change, but less severe. So this is why you saw me go on stream, and I went from crying about, how I felt about the whole Hylissang situation and the guilt I felt about that. Anyway, the reason why I want to bring in LS is because he's actually the first person that pointed it out. He was like, I think he's experiencing a manic episode. Now, it wasn't a manic episode, it was a hypomanic episode. The difference being that mania is a little bit more extreme, or like a lot more extreme than a hypomanic episode, but hey, that's why he was really involved. He really,
Jo, ale hoši, tohle zatím, dostáváme se k tomu zlatýmu středu, jo?
People to bring attention to the fact that's why my therapist got involved in the first place. Either way, let's talk about what's on our screen for now. But the point is, the difference between manic and hypomanic is how long it lasts, how severe it is, basically. But you see here, like I didn't really experience psychosis. I didn't need to go to a hospital. I was sleeping about 4 hours a night for about a week straight. And I did not mind. This is when I should have realized there was something very wrong with me. Inflative self-esteem or grandiosity. Yeah, if you read that, you might understand why I was telling everyone I was the fucking GOAT. And why I, had really strong opinions. It didn't give me a significant functional impairment. Point is, I had a hypomanic episode in Worlds 2024.
Then, more clarity on the Dokes drama.
This is not what happened with the
prostě vymlouvá na mental illness?
situation, okay? What happened with the Douglas situation is, I gave my personal opinion on someone's career, which...
Hovoří o sobě, o jeho mental illness, no. Čau, Kamil, ty si to všechno viděl, tak ty mi můžeš říct.
And I yet again want to apologize. That's never something...
Počkej.
On someone's career, which I should never do. And I yet again want to apologize. That's never something I'm going to do again. That said, I do think at the end of a match, like Before a match, I think it's always legal. You know, you don't have to fist bump me. At the end of the match, I think honoring what happened on the day and shaking hands on that and showing respect to you know, everything that was left on the rift is something that you should do. It pissed me off that I didn't get my fist bump because I offered, you know, even though I got denied, I walked up to him and I did offer. And that pissed me off. But that's not the only reason, to be honest with you. I'm working with Mr. Gagos.
Tady jako, teď budeme mluvit o tom, že jaká byla situace v 100 Thieves, protože tam byl General Sniper, který byl topař předtím, Jokla byl coach, top lane coach, který ho trénoval a potom jakoby vzal jeho spot a ho to sere Bwipa. Nevím, proč ho to jako sere, proč by ho to mělo srát.
He's a 17-year-old kid. I think he has a great future. He has a lot of potential. And if I was in the flip side of this and I got hired to coach him because he was struggling, I would never give up on the kid. I would refuse to play on the main roster, and I would find a solution for his gameplay. From the start, rubbed me very wrong in the first place. I think that the kid still has potential, and I don't know what he's struggling with, and maybe, you know, maybe Sniper doesn't want to play.
Že šel koučovat a pak replacenul.
No, but without information, it rubbed me the wrong way that he got replaced the way he did. Because I think that the way he played was extremely uncharacteristic and was not what he has displayed in the past, what he's capable of. So the combination of the fact that I was really fucking pissed about the fact that I didn't get my fist bump and the fact that rubbed me the wrong way made me overreact, and I called him out. Also, you know, you win a finals and you get a nice, like, a big lead. You feel like, you know, you just carried game 3. You had a very good game 4 early game, like you were owning in lane. I did run it down in team fights, but still, I was on a pretty big high from the fact that I was owning in lane. It certainly didn't help in closing my mouth.
He then talks on his own struggles and what led him to the position he's in today.
The reason why I lashed out and made the tweet was because from what I could read online, people were saying that I go through fake perseverance. Like I pretend like I think that's important. I don't pretend. I'll tell you a little story because I've told this before on my stream, and this is not to throw a pity party. You can take it as you will, but this is why I have an extremely high standard for my own individual play and why I consider myself. I try as hard as I do. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer around the age of me being 16, and my mother supported me trying to go pro when I was not making any income and I was not working for about 2 years while undergoing treatment for her breast cancer. To this day, I will be grateful until the day I die for the fact that my mother made this sacrifice, and I will never allow myself not to be the best. I don't think 5th place is good enough. I don't think 6th place is good enough. My mother did not sacrifice what she did for me to be that.
With all this, Dokla didn't really respond until...
Jakoby teď zase nechce být hnusnej, ale typek tam mluví, že jakoby jeho mamka něco obětovala, ale jakoby co obětovala, chápeš? Jako jo, byla nemocná, měla rakovinu prsu, ale...
You think that's the end of the situation? Oh boy.
Typkovi
Earlier
16,
today,
jakoby
Bwipo
chápeš,
clicked
jako...
go live. The biggest mistake of his career.
Co ona obětovala, aby on mohl jít pro?
Because on this live stream, he proceeded to explain why he thinks women can't be competitive players.
Aj, kurva, hej, teď poslouchej.
Stream, he proceeded to explain why he thinks women can't be competitive players.
Tohle je proč se stalo úplně jako, že už to šlo úplně do sraček, jo? Protože v podstatě on tady bude vysvětlovat, proč ženy nikdy nemůžou být profesionální e-sport hráčky. Nikdy.
I think there's just not enough support for female pro players and female, like, basically, like, women's anatomy and their monthly cycles are extremely different from males, and there's no proper support system for women to go through what they're going through when it comes to competition, in my opinion, at least. And I think a lot of people, like, even men that play this game, just tilt out of their fucking minds when they play League of Legends. So when a woman is on the wrong part of the month to play competitively, right? I mean, there's a time in the month where you should not be fucking playing competitive games as a woman, in my opinion. This is my experience having lived with one a while. She played a lot of League Ranked. It was just like, it was really obvious when she was just getting super irritated at every little thing. And that's not trying to be sexist or anything, it's just the way it was.
A tady fakt tohle dropne a pak řekne, chodil jsem s jednou holkou, co hrála League of Legends a prostě nešlo to, když měla periodu, jo. Když měla měsíčky. A pak dropne, not trying to be racist, by the way.
I think understanding, like, this is not a good time right now to, you know, actually just get up and grind. This is a time for me to relax and, you know, maybe do a bit more VOD reviewing, maybe do a bit more, you know, looking at the game. Maybe have a different account entirely to play when they're going through that.
mít jiný účet, když má měsíčka, aby hrála na tom účtu, když má měsíčka. Co ti
I think these can be solutions in order to make it a much more fair playing field. And I think ultimately the problem with this is, well, competition isn't going to schedule around your period or schedule around, you know, weeks in the month where you're just not, you don't have as much room to be competitive, basically. Because I don't think it's not possible, I just think it's much harder. Cassiopeia top lane?
Yes, you heard that right. He suggested women who play League need to have a I'm on my period account. Now, you can imagine the backlash, but one who was particularly disappointed was actually longtime colleague and recent esports on-air talent of the decade winner Sjokz, who's worked with Bwipo going on a decade now from when he used to compete in Europe. She had a lot of thoughts, so many so she made a video instead of typing them. Here is said video.
Bwipo had something to say about women and their periods in relation to if they can play League or not. Apparently, listen, I'm not the person to dogpile on someone, so I'm going to watch the clip with you and then we can talk about it. But I'm also not the person, like, I don't think that it is our duty to have to educate someone on something. Now, I do have a little bit of grace for Bwipo. I've known him for a long time.
A to je jakoby jedna z mála, jo. To doslova každý člověk o tom tweetoval. Každý člověk, co je v esportu, tak z toho úplně...
I know sometimes he says things and he doesn't really think them through and how they could land, but I don't think that's an excuse, so let's just go through the clip. Also, yes, I look like shit. I was about to go to bed. Okay, forgive me.
Women's anatomy and their monthly cycles are extremely different from males, and there's no proper support system for women to go through what they're going through.
Okay, you know, up until that point, I'm kind of like, yeah, you're right. It is completely kind of misunderstood and undervalued and underassessed and under-researched and under-supported completely that women go through their periods, which, by the way, a period for one woman can look completely different than period for another. And it's, you know, we just have to pretend like nothing's going on and just do whatever we're doing. So at that point, you can't find fault with what he's saying.
A lot of people, like, even men that play this game just tilt out of their fucking minds when they play League of Legends. So when a woman is on the wrong part of the month to play competitively, right? I mean, there's a time in the month where you should not be fucking playing competitive games as a woman, in my opinion. This is my experience having lived with one.
Okay, first off, calling a period like the wrong time of the month, I thought we were past that, because like, how can 5 days of every month be a wrong time for a woman? I don't know if I'm
Kámo, toho se chytá jak blázen toho slova, jako špatná, prostě špatných 5 dnů.
nitpicking here, I don't think so, but like, let's not do that. And secondly, to then just kind of make the connection of like, yeah, so when a woman is on her period, she shouldn't be able to play competitively, which in end effect does basically say, well, women shouldn't be playing League competitively because they might have their period on a day where they'd have to play an important match, right? Regardless, that's just such a crazy take, because what do you think women do? What do you think women do? I mean, women are on their period bleeding buckets, having extreme pains that they have to take painkillers for, or maybe they don't. They are extremely tired and lethargic. They're out there running Olympic records. They're out there climbing the Mont Ventoux. They're out there putting in 24-hour shifts as a nurse. They're out there being a provider for 4 of their kids and also putting food on the table and dealing with all of that, caring for the elderly, being an executive at a huge company,
Bwipo.
being lawyers, but
něco
a game of League. Whoa! Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Women should not be playing League on their period. Well, what's next? You know?
Okay,
I don't know.
to trošičku.
Also, the notion that men aren't emotional in games of League. It just sucks so much because you have to see it not in a vacuum. You have to see it in the
Mě napadl jakoby joke, ale nemohl jsem ho dropnout tady.
complete society and the complete patriarchal standards we are under, where it is kind of like women emotional so can't do thing. Women shouldn't be in workforce because emotional. Men should do all those things, you know. It's like it's all connected, and that's why especially I think it's quite ignorant to say this and to frame this as such, because that is dangerous rhetoric, and you need to see the bigger picture and the harm that rhetoric like this does do to women.
Narviku, čau, ale to je úplně klasický Bwipo. On vyhraje americkou ligu a prostě vyflamí všechny. Dropne tam status typu jako ženský jsou prostě, neměli by nic dělat, protože víš co?
I'm a little flabbergasted, but the thing is Bwipo, I don't mean ill will at you at all, but I just think as a woman I kind of had to give my 2 cents here. And I hope you can understand that it is a little bit out of pocket to say. And yeah, we can definitely have a chat about it if you'd like.
She also followed it up with
Lil bro, kdo ještě bere Bwipa serious, však ten borec jen mele hovna, on rád mluví a rád se poslouchá, dává mu to pocit důležitosti, ne asi no. Tomáš popsal prostě přesně Bwipo.
a tweet in jest. Client update. When on period, you now receive less LP loss upon losing a game and increased LP gain upon victory. Basic attacks damage percentage increased based on which active day of period, reduced shop prices, and Summoner's Rift music bed now lo-fi to quell emotions whilst playing. Now, obviously, Bwipo's take is wild, because it not only addresses female league players, but by extension women as a whole, suggesting that women can't perform while going through the bad part of the month. The part that actually allows humanity to continue. This would suggest female pilots, athletes, doctors, surgeons, academics, professors, hell, anyone in the workforce can't perform around their period, which is obviously
teď všimnul, že on má vařečku a na tom má mikrofon.
Not the case. If you go on Twitter, you'll see basically everyone having an opinion on this. I literally can't include them all, but for now the situation is still developing. Bwipo himself has yet to respond, but FlyQuest says it's being addressed and will result in a ban from their Discord if it continues. Quote, "We are not further discussing this topic. It is currently being acknowledged and addressed at FlyQuest. If you put another message regarding it, I will unfortunately have to ban you for not listening to a moderator's decision."
Tak a FlyQuest se k tomu potom vyjádřil, že ho benchujou. Že vlastně benchujou, nevím, jak dlouho jim to trvalo, než se k tomu jako rozhodli, ale že benchujou ho na, teď přesně nevím, jestli jenom next series in the playoffs. Takže jenom jednu BO5 a donatujou jeho event prize money na causes that support women in gaming. Kdy oni hrajou kdy další BO5 a je to jenom jedna série, což je jakoby... Ženy by měly hrát Vladimíra Badmonth. Dobré. Jak to řekl Tomáš, Bwipo prostě potřebuje pozornost, rád mluví a rád se poslouchá.
And the last response of this video is...
To je nejlepší. C9 going to key BBQ. Tady to se to stupňuje. Big jokes. Tady se to stupňuje. Women can play on their period. Kámo, ty memísky. A Jokla to tweetnul. Prostě to tweetnul Sjokz, co ti jebe. Víš co, ten týpek, co s ním měl beef, tak prostě tweetnul toto.
Dokla, of course, who got the last word in with this meme. So that's where we're up to at this point.
Ten se
Subscribe for future
směje.
developments and thanks for watching.
No a tady jsou Sjokz tweets, že tam je "Fuck, was just about to boot up a league game, but realized I'm on my period." Smiley face. Laura k tomu deresponznula něco, znáte Lauru? "Don't do it, you're too emotional." Dom, I will dominate, responded. "It's fine, if you listen to the entire clip, then you would have heard that there is a solution. Just log onto an account that you only play when you're on your period." Kamil poslal jsi mě na Discord, dobré, kouknu. Unwinnable matchup for Bwipo. A potom Sjokz k tomu ještě tweetnula: "Women emotional when period, so can't play competitive games. Is such a dangerous rhetoric in the bigger context. Goddamn. Find it hard to type all I wanted, so posted a TikTok about the matter." To bylo to video, co jsme viděli. A client update. "When on period, you now receive less LP upon..." Jo, to jsme taky viděli. Ještě ti dám jednu bombu. Ach jo, kámo, tyhle ty memísky, to jsou bomby. To jsou bomby jak blázen, co ti jebe. Dobré, to jsou Sjokz tweety. Nemusím vám říkat, že prostě ty vole, tady celý ten Reddit je prostě... "Sorry if I play... jsou memísky. "Sorry if I play bad this game, guys. This is my period account." "Goes on a generation run about how dogshit Jokla's career is just because he overcame a similar type of adversity to help to him and is net superior. Crucifies women and calls them incapable of being pros due to their menstrual cycle because he lived with one. He lived with one. I'm something of a scientist myself. Prostě víš co, a já ti říkám, každý, kdo v e-sportu něco znamená, se k tomu vyjádřil, že Bwipo je úplně kokot. Crazy. Jako to je úplně raketa všeho. On se pak omluvil, ale neomluvil, takzvaně. A oni ho benchnou jenom na to, jenom na, v podstatě na jednu hru jenom. On se neumí omlouvat. Hele, hodně lidí se neumí omlouvat. U nás tady se taky jako pár lidí neumělo omluvit. FlyQuest. Bwipo, please attend this optional event in Saudi Arabia whose main purpose is to sport watch the fact women are in prison for protecting equal rights. Makes dumb comments about women gaming on their period. FlyQuest. Bwipo, you are suspended and fined. Víš, to je taková ironie, že oni jeli na ten klasický Fabiven prostě jakoby omlouval to, co udělal Bwipo a hnedka se na něj vytáhlo to, že on podvedl svoji přítelkyni. To Fabiven dramíčko, to si, jestli to pamatujete, to bylo taky crazy. Fabiven napsal, Bwipo talking isn't surprising. He's a pro League of Legends player, not an expert in everything. He's just speaking his mind without filler, sharing from his own experience. Sometimes even if you disagree, you keep your opinion to yourself. Fabiven dramíčko. Fabiven dramíčko. Hele, chodil prostě s nějakou mega známou cosplayerkou nebo s nějakou e-girl a dostalo se na něj, že jako podváděl mnohokrát, xkrát po sobě. Enhance your performance even when you're on your period with style. Jak moc cancelnutý je? V podstatě nijak. Lidi si klasicky, hele, já nevím, teďka nebude hrát jednu BO5, je benchnutej, ale myslím si, že prostě to bude takový to klasický, Bwipo je to kokot, tak hej, a zapomene se na to. Ale nevím, myslím si jako, že ty ženský, ty mají teďka proti němu doslova agendu ho úplně jako zničit.